Hi guys, it's Katie the Crafty Crab. Today I have quite a long video for you that was done over quite some weeks. This is for a Christmas steampunk swap that I'm doing with Irene Patton. So excuse me, but when I was filming this we had fans on and everything, so I'm going to be doing a voiceover. So for this swap, it was organised by Gareth, and you could either create an ATC, a tag, a card, or an item. And I chose to upcycle this tin with a steampunk Christmas theme. So as you could probably see, it's a biscuit tin from Christmas with Christmas elements all over it. Now, some of the points I'm picking up here, the lettering is all embossed, so it was quite raised. So I wanted to get rid of that and completely turn this into something different. So the first thing I'm going to do to get rid of that embossing is to go over it with some texture paste. I'm using just some, I can't remember, it's just some standard texture paste, and I'm using two different stencils. So these are stencils that I think are snip art that I picked up via the craft box, and they are ones that I used on a recent workshop where they were using the combination of both of them, gave quite an industrial look, which is what I wanted to go for with the steampunk. But the first thing I'm going to do is try to neutralise this embossed lettering. So it's really raised, and I really don't want to be able to see shortbread on a steampunk Christmas theme. So I'm just covering it completely in texture paste just to give it a more neutral finish. And this will also be the case for the top of the tin, the lid, because the tin has that beautiful robin on a branch graphic, and all of that lettering and all the imagery is all embossed and raised. So I really want to try to keep the robin as part of the steampunk Christmas theme. So I'm going to be going over some of it with texture paste, but I'm going to try and keep that robin as clear as possible. So apologies for that, I missed a process along the line. So as you can see, I painted the tin and all of the sides once I put the texture paste on, and I just wanted to put a base layer of white gesso just to give it something to stick on. And I coloured in the robin redbreast on the front of that tin lid because I wanted to use it as a placeholder to remember where the robin was situated on the tin. The next stage is going through my stash and finding all of the Christmas and steampunk related items I could find. So I went through and I had lots of steampunk cogs made of snip art and chipboard. I also found lots of bits of different Christmas tags and stars and snowflakes that I also wanted to use, because I wanted to make sure that the steampunk element did reflect steampunk but also Christmas. Okay, so the next stage for this project is, once that I have glued all of the steampunk Christmas elements, I'm now going to go over and give the tin a thorough coating of white gesso. So again, this just builds up the texture, and also I really want to make sure that you can't see any of the resemblance of what the tin originally was. So I want to make sure you can't see any branding or any references to the manufacturer, etc. So I've got my little paint pot of white gesso and I'm giving everything a good coat, and I think I go over it 2 or 3 times. It won't end up being white, but the gesso will just give everything a chance to blend in perfectly. Moving on to the tin of this lid, I absolutely love it. So I learnt my lesson through doing some mixed media that anything that gives texture is worthwhile. So I've got a Christmas tree button, I've got all the steampunk cogs and pipes. I've also got some burlap there, I've got some bling, and I also found a bow from a Christmas present. And the kind of gold and red bead that you can see as well was some wrapping from a Christmas cracker. So, oh, and of course the pine cones as well. So the pine cones were from a craft shop. So on top of that, I've got a few stars and a few snowflake gems, as well as keys and other bits of mixed media items. So I really love the fact that it has lots of different interesting bits. There's lots of different textures, lots of different materials. You've got wood, you've got chipboard, you've got material, and you've got charms there as well. So again, I'm just going over this quite heavily with gesso, and it does take me a few coats even, to get it completely covered. So here is where the good stuff starts to happen. So in the next few images you'll see I'm going to start adding colour and making it look far more steampunky. So I've used a metallic gold paint, which is actually just from Poundland. and I'm so happy with the colour and dimension it gave. Right, so I've got my lid to my tin, and I've got a selection of different shades of brown and some antique paste, which I've never actually used, but it's bitumen colour. Oh, so it is a proper paste. Oh, this might work really well. So I'm going to just use a dry brush, and I'm just going to kind of go over and darken and do some highlights and some lowlights. So now I did go on not a steampunk course, but a mixed media course where the dry brush gave a really good effect, and I don't know why. I guess it's because it's not picking up much paint, and you can really just use it until it runs out. So I'm just gonna, oh, this is working lovely. So I think what I was thinking is I'm just gonna do this side here, and oh, this is great, I love this. And I was going to do the old Robin, because I quite like him to stand out. And I think he's kind of on a twig there, so I'm just gonna how's that looking? Might just, unfortunately there's still a few white bits that I'm just going to use up the rest of this paint, this paste. See what I can pick up. Okay, so let's put the lid back on there. So from what I learned before, if you you start dark, and if you kind of head out to the light, so the dark is in one area and then you move out. So I'm just gonna, this is a light brown again with a dry brush, and I'm just gonna pick up some highlights. I really like this bow, and because it's covered in paint now, it's really stiff. I really enjoyed doing this project, the mix of all the Christmassy elements and the steampunk. Kind of looking to see what it looks like on camera as well. So let's do this. Let's put a bit of brown on these pine cones. See, at the moment the bird really stands out, but that's fine, I think. Right, so that was that. So I'm gonna go. Sorry, I've got my paintbrush in my mouth then. So I'm now going to use a slightly lighter brown and just go over, kind of mix it. I'm just really getting this is actually quite a nice brown as a highlight. Oh yeah, this is looking so rusty. I love this. And I think when you use a dry brush, it kind of picks up some of the brush strokes in the texture. So I don't know how well you can see this. This looks really rusty now. I don't know, will that focus more? Yeah, I love that. Right, let's just see if I can pick up any more. I'll just right, and now I'm going to go in with the lighter. So this says it's a gold actually. Oh dear, it's really stiff to open. So this will be interesting how this comes up. Oh yeah, it is gold. Well, that kind of works. So I'm going to use not much. So let's got to put it on the Christmas tree, eh? Oh, I really like that actually. It looks so rusty. So I think we need some colour up here. So I'm just going to use the second light one. To me, this is the kind of rustiest colour. So I think we just need to just get a little bit of colour in. Maybe I'm just going to dial that back down a bit. Oh, I love it. It just looks so rusty. It's amazing actually, just with a few different browns. I kind of want to put a few more highlights with that gold. So maybe just pick up on this. Pick up on that. And it blends really well. It reminds me of some of these makeup videos you see of when they blend in. Ready? So I think you can afford to go just like on the edge of one of these cogs. And I think that is my lid done. Let's see if we can focus. There we go. So I've got to do something more with the robin. I'm not quite sure how yet. So I will just finish off the rest of the tin, and I'll do that in time lapse. Right, so I am almost done on the lid, but I want to define this robin a bit more. So I'm going to paint its red breast, and I think I might paint the rest of it actually. So I'm using a dry brush again because I want to have a bit more control. So I've actually just googled the image to remind me what this original robin looks like. So this was the original tin. So I'm just reminding myself of the how much colour, how much red breast we want to have. So it's actually quite a lot. And I'm going to colour this cog as well. So just seeing, yeah, that's actually really easy, really helpful to do. And I think it's looking more robinish. I'm back and here is the finished product. So let me just sort this camera angle out a bit. There we go. So we have my Christmas steampunk tin. I can't remember if I did this bit on camera, but I went over the robin with a glossy accent and it is giving it such a lovely finish. And then I just added these two sentiments and a few real cogs to the piece. I'm so pleased with how the rust effect has come out, all the different colours. Looks really natural, and I love how excuse me, I've managed to include some Christmassy pieces, snowflake stars, alongside some kind of more industrial steampunk elements. And there's that side as well. So there we go. This is what the lovely Irene pattern received, and inside I've made it almost like a little embellishment tin. Inside I've just thrown lots and lots of Christmas related pieces from my stash, but I'm hoping that Irene will use this as maybe a keepsake tin for Christmas or some way to put a Christmas card, I don't know. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I think if I now had the original tin next to it, you just wouldn't believe it was the same thing. And just as part of the kind of final part of my project share, I wanted to show you the card that I'm going to be sending to Irene as well. So I'm still playing with the steampunk theme, but less Christmassy. So I use the green as the Christmas colour now. One of my crafty friends had sent me this steampunk image, so I just fussy cut around, and then for my birthday I bought myself some black enamel gloss. Sorry, I had to think of the word. So I just went over some of the key elements, and so these black shiny bits are just where I've added the accent. And then I used some steampunk stamps, I think from Gareth's store, just to create the background. And this is the white enamel gloss as well, that I just freestyled a pattern, but I thought that that would be just quite a nice greeting card to accompany my steampunk tin. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you've really enjoyed watching this tutorial. I know it goes on a bit, but there's lots of different elements to it. So I hope it inspires you to have a play with mixed media or steampunk, or even just using different shades of paint to create that rust effect. I've really enjoyed this project. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.